All right, folks, hope you're doing good. We are back with another video, and this is another prep update. So the last video did really well. It's been up for about a week. It's got a good amount of views, and I've had a ton of questions coming in off the back of it, which is awesome. So we're just going to run this the same kind of play, really. Going to start off with a full prep breakdown, again, from the first thing I do when I open my eyes until right before bed. And then we're going to go through the training. We're going to go through things in between, like the posing, some of the supplements, and then we're going to finish off with some Q&A. 10 questions, and go through my answers to those as well. So keep those questions coming in, because we've got a good few in the bank now. I'll just do 10 every time, but the last Q&A, we probably got about, I don't know, 30, 35 questions or something. So keep those coming in, and we can always be one step ahead of the game. But let's dive in. Prep. So I had my check-in on Saturday, and the feedback was really, really good, which is epic. And we're getting into, like, we've got just under 6 weeks now. So it's all serious, it's prep, but now it's the real serious time. So the carbs have been dropped again dramatically, which is difficult and good as well, because it increases the challenge, which is my favorite part. So let's get into it. Diet. So I wake up at 5 a.m. And the very first thing I do, I keep these things next to me in a bedside drawer. So literally the first thing I do is take some L-glutamine, some greens powder, some apple cider vinegar, half a teaspoon of sea salt, and 2 liters of water. So some of these things haven't changed since the last video, and they won't change forever, like the thing I do first thing in the morning. So like I said last time, if you guys haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend that concoction. Fair warning, it will taste like genuine poison, but on the inside, it's doing super positive things. So get that down you. Again, depending on the day, depends on what time I'll train, but we're just going to go through kind of as is. So the first meal is now 50 grams of oats. I don't know if you've ever seen 50 grams of oats, but it's this much, palm of your hand. So 50 grams of oats, so obviously that's dropped a lot, especially since the start of it, but since last week. 20 grams of organic peanut butter, 5 whole eggs, 3 rashers of turkey bacon cooked in coconut oil, the eggs and the turkey bacon, 50 grams of pineapple. So that's also dropped. You might remember on the last video I said I don't really like pineapple, but I've eaten tons and tons of it through prep, and you know, I was getting some simple sugars from it, a bit of an energy boost and stuff, but now it's dropped to 50 grams, which, FYI, if you have pineapple chunks, that is, depending on the size, 5 or 6 chunks. It's like an empty bowl. It's so real right now. So that's meal 1. Meal 2, 300 grams of chicken, 50 grams of rice. Yeesh. Green veg and a tablespoon of olive oil. Meal 3 is exactly the same as meal 2. Meal 4 is 300 grams of white fish, green beans, 30 grams of organic almond butter, 250 grams of no-fat Greek yogurt with blueberries. Then we've got my Intra, which hasn't changed. It's 2 servings of Intra ammo, 1 scoop of Strom's Hydromax, which is fantastic for just feeling, especially in this heat, and especially if you're in prep or whatever. You feel super hydrated. Like, it really does help recover you that. So it really helps during intense training sessions. Half a teaspoon of sea salt and 2 liters of water. I don't know if I said this, but first thing in the morning when I have the greens powder and the vitamins and so on, that's also 2 liters of water as well. So it's a lot of water a day. Post-workout, that's not, oh no, that has changed. 2 scoops of whey protein isolate, that's the same. 100 grams of puffed rice cereal, so Rice Krispies. No, somebody asked me last week, can they have Cocoa Pops? I mean, technically you can have whatever you want, but if you're trying to get in the best condition of your life, no. Rice Krispies, are just puffed rice. 50 grams of pineapple. And then the last meal is just another whey isolate protein shake before bed. So that's it for the diet. So yeah, carbs have dropped again dramatically this week. I enjoy it though. I enjoy getting the check-in because I'm always wondering to myself, what's going to change? And then seeing it on paper, I quite enjoy, because then I can like think in my head how it's going to look and almost how it's going to feel as well, because that's important. I think if you can try and set yourself up for how it's going to feel, it's going to help you, because you're doing so much cardio, you're training so intensely, you're trying to burn as much body fat as you can, maintain, or if you're protein high enough, even increase some lean muscle tissue. You know, it's a brutal assault on your body and energy. So if you can try and anticipate how you might feel, and it's not such a surprise how tired you might be, then it's going to help. Helps me. Training. So again, training hasn't changed as such. I've just added a few more. Well, there's a couple of isolation movements added in, and there are some additional exercises which I wouldn't normally do in an off-season chest and triceps, for example, but we'll go through those now. So training, same pattern, chest and triceps with some additional movements. So what that means is, in my chest session now, I'll also be doing some side laterals, some side raises to bring out the side delts, which has been working phenomenally. Normally I wouldn't do side raises in a chest and tricep session, but that's the kind of thing, throwing out those smaller movements in a little bit more frequently. Back and biceps, again with some additional movements. So that's an upright row, and then bent over flies done the standard way, palms in for 4 sets, but then also palms down, and it really kind of nails the top of your rear delts, your higher traps, which we were doing posing practice last night, and we really saw that pop out. So that's been really good. Legs, nothing's changed on that part really, apart from I've started to do hamstrings first, because when I do quads first, quads write you off, right? They are so insanely taxing. So when it comes to hamstring, I'm still giving 100%, but there isn't 100% left. Whereas hamstrings aren't as physically demanding. So by doing those first, the last few weeks, I've found that it doesn't affect my quad session, and I can obliterate my hamstrings. So that's, yeah, that's been fantastic. Calves, I do 7 days a week. So I'll do calves in the gym before or after every session, it just depends. And I'll do a warm-up set, and then I'll do 2 sets super heavy, and then I'll do two sets where I literally half the weight and squeeze it, and slow the tempo down. And then at home on rest days, literally on the bottom step of my stairs, I'll just do 100 reps of calves every night before bed. And then that's it for training, really. And then posing, I'll do 5 rounds of posing practice after every gym session. So we did some last night, and it is brutal. It really is brutal doing the posing, but posing is so vitally important. If you're going to compete, you know, you're getting marked on how you display your physique. So you've really got to pay as much attention and practice to your posing as you can. Then I also do it at home on rest days as well. But the main posing rounds, which is 5 rounds of posing, is done in the gym after I've trained. And then abs, now it's 3 times a week, it's just at home. Very simple, regular sit-ups, and then leg raises, so lying down on the floor, raising your legs, not letting your heels touch the ground for the lower abs. That's it. Visualization, that's something I've always done forever anyway. I do that 7 days a week, usually before bed, or I might sit outside at night after the cardio, or I'll be in bed just before I fall asleep, music on, visualize. Okay, and then supplements, once again, because I keep getting asked this question, which is fine, but if you want to know about the other supplements, you will have to join my Instagram subscription service, which is now live. If I can figure out how to do it, I'll put a link in the bio of this video, I guess. And then other subs are protein, obviously whey isolate. So the protein brand I use, because I got asked this last time, is Napa Whey Isolate. They stock it at the gym I train at, which is Standish Gym. There's quite a few gyms really as well that stock that now, but you can get it online as well, obviously, and stuff. But That's the one I use. It's fantastic for the price and the servings you get and the flavour and the amount of protein per serving. It's nearly unbeatable. So yeah, Napa whey protein I use. They do all sorts as well, pre-workouts, creatine, pretty sure they do EAAs. I think they do a pump formula, fat burners, all sorts. Check them out. Might put a link into their website as well if I can figure out how to do that. Vitamins every morning. Vitamin A, vitamin C, fish oils, zinc, magnesium, 3 types of fat burners, creatine monohydrate, a joint capsule, vitamin B complex, and then every day a gallon of water minimum, and EAAs. And then, like I say, there are other supplements, but you know how to find those. Now, cardio is 1 hour high intensity, fasted in the morning, and 30 minutes high intensity in the evenings before bed. So it's a lot of cardio. I'll go as hard as I can trying to get that body fat off. I'll do a video on this later, but it's just sprung into my mind now. A lot of people tend to get their cardio wrong, and they're like hammer away at a treadmill. And for weeks, they're not really dropping any weight, maybe a pound here and there, but they're definitely getting fitter. To keep it at its most basic, you want to think of cardio as 3 zones: endurance, fitness, and fat burning. And I think people miss the fat burning zone quite a lot, but if you just want to burn fat, if you just want to drop weight and burn as much fat as you possibly can, the simplest, not easy, but the simplest ways to do that are get on a treadmill, put it to a 10% incline, don't hold on to the machine, and pick a pace that's a fast walk, not a jog, but a very fast walk. And do that for an hour, 7 days a week. Or get on the exercise bike. Again, they're all different, aren't they? But I have mine on resistance number 4. And same thing, heart rate, again, it's different for different people, but it's between like 120 and 140, you've got to be burning body fat. So that's the simplest way to look at fat burning cardio. That's it for the prep rundown. If there's anything else you want to hear or you want more information on, comment and I'll get back to you. Now, we've got some questions. Question 1. What are these newsletters about? So I've been posting these all over. So there are 2 different types of newsletters. There are ones for subscribers only on the Instagram channel, which is just smashed with information, really invaluable coaching information. And then all sorts. I mean, it ranges from supplements to those other kinds of supplements, training principles, mindset stuff, everything. And then there are now newsletters that get sent out by email. If you're on the email chain, which you can get in my Instagram bio, the link is in there. All you got to do is put your email address and your name, and then you'll start getting these emails. One of them just fired out today, and it's a bit of a banger. It's got 5 great tips in there from me. Question 2. Would you rather fight a T-Rex sized chicken or 100 chicken-sized T-Rexes? I think most people maybe would go for the 100 chicken-sized T-Rexes, maybe. But I'm going to go for the T-Rex-sized chicken because it's I think, the bigger challenge of the 2. Question 3. Jeez. I try, like, I'll save these questions and then I'll paste them and then I won't look at them for a few days. And because I want the answers to be like off the cuff. What are the best places to inject steroids? It's an important question, this. I just think, or I hope rather. So I do get this a lot. I just hope that people who are asking this type of questions haven't already purchased things, you know, because you shouldn't be asking these questions if you've already got stuff, because that's quite a dangerous territory there. You want to do as much research as you possibly can before going down that route. So the person who asked this question, if you're asking it to get as much knowledge as you can first, well done, smashing it the right way. If you've already got the stuff and it's sat there and you're wondering how to take it, that's not the best place to be in, if I'm being honest. However, what I'm going to do is a video on this topic. So like I said in the last video, I'm not just Guy who bodybuilds, giving you information on injections and stuff. I'll post pictures, again, if I can figure out how to do that, of my qualifications. This was my job. For years and years and years, I qualified in intramuscular injections, subcutaneous injections, vaccinations, and obviously taking blood. That's one of the businesses we own. So yeah, I will do a full video separate on this, on the procedure, how to set it up, the safest ways to do it, the places to do it, and the muscles and all that kind of thing. We'll cover as much as we possibly can. So look out for that video. Question 4. Can I use regular oil to cook my food? So I got this after the last video, after I was talking about the coconut oil. Again, you can do whatever you want. Should you use regular oil if you're trying to get in the best shape of your life? No. So vegetable oil or whatever has double the calories of, say, coconut oil, and obviously more fats, saturated fats. So no, I mean, coconut oil, it's a much healthier source, and it's the calories are 50% less. So, that's really important if you're, again, trying to get to a low of body fat as you possibly can. Plus, I mean, if you're using regular oil, you can sort of just make them fried, like a fry up. So that should answer that question. If you want to get to like 5% body fat, you can't go to Del Boy's Calf, and get one of Sid's fry ups, can you? So, no. Question 5. Who are people you respect in bodybuilding? So this is a great question. I also like the way that's worded. Who do you respect? So, because I had one about influencers last week, which is still a good question, but, influencers, it's a tricky subject. But who do I respect in bodybuilding is a great one. So, some off the top of my head. Anth Bales, obviously, for what he's achieved, number 1, at the time he achieved it, and then just who he is, how he trains and all that kind of stuff. How he comes across, how he puts himself across, just genuine, straight to it, no nonsense. So yeah, I really respect that. That's the key word. Meg Sylvester's another one. So anybody who trains hard and intense properly is always going to get my respect, really, especially in bodybuilding. And then what they've achieved on top of that, so what she's achieved in such a short space of time is unreal. James Hollinshead, obviously. And who else? I'll tell you what I saw compete recently. His name's going out of my head now. Andrew Jacked. That guy's transformed in a year. So yeah, that was really good to see, like that transformation. You can't not respect that if you're into bodybuilding. So that was epic. Nasty Leroy Davis, obviously, the master of nasty. Yeah, there are a few people who I respect in bodybuilding, off the cuff. 6, please, more gym rants. I was going to have a major one last night. So, man, not controlling the equipment. You don't own any of that equipment. And there were just some people in the gym, and like when they were coming to finishing the reps, they were slamming and smashing kit around. It winds me up like crazy. Obviously dropping dumbbells and stuff like that, I just don't get it. It's nuts. Respect the equipment. I've said this 1,000 times, right? Strength is relative. If I'm doing the 62.5s at Standish Gym, or the 72.5s, I think, at the shed or whatever, you see my videos, I throw them up off my knees, I press them, I drop them on my knees, I place them on the ground. If I'm doing that with that weight, which is a struggle for me, it's a heavy weight, you shouldn't be dropping 20 kilo dumbbells from your shoulder height to the floor. Just respect the equipment. I can feel the rant coming on. Putting your weights away as well. So there's, in the gym, again, I've got to be careful how I say this really, but somebody has been using equipment and then leaving all the weights on it, and then going to another machine and leaving all the weights on it, leaving water bottles about, and then you can hear them loudly complaining that they can't find any of the stuff later on around the gym. Like, sort your shit out. So yeah, that's another one. Question 7, gym loves. Let's bring it back down. The community in a gym. So you can't, it's hard to find that these days. I think it's only in independent gyms, old school bodybuilding gyms, which is a bit of a paradox. It's a bit ironic, because I think when people poke their head in those gyms, they're like, oh my God, terrifying. And then they'll go to like a franchise gym where maybe it looks, you know, it's all bright lights or whatever, but the atmosphere in there is not great. Whereas if you go into a bodybuilding gym, just speak to the first person you see, I guarantee they'll be one of the nicest people you've ever spoken to in your life. So I love that. I mean, at my gym, you walk in, everybody knows your name, you know their name. If you've spoke the week before, they've remembered what like your plans were and they've asked how they're going. They're always interested in training. They're like really up to date with it as well. They're like definitely listening and remembering what you've been saying. So yeah, the sense of community in the gyms, it's hard to find, but it's still there. And you want to give as much as you can to those gyms, because there aren't many of them about these days. Question 8, how do you feel about the progress you're making? There are literally daily changes. Appreciated. I've had a couple of messages like that. Sometimes it can be very hard to see the changes when you're in it yourself. So it's really nice when somebody says stuff like that, especially if they've not seen you for not a long time and a short time, but they say a week and they're like, bloody hell, you've changed quite a bit. And you're like, cheers. I don't really know, to be honest with you. So I'm in that zone at the moment where I have this goal and I have these goals and I have to tick these boxes every day to help me get towards the big goal. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I've not so much taken a moment to stop and look. But don't get me wrong, every week, particularly Mondays, where we're doing the posing and I can see like a different shape when I hit the pose, or I can see a bit more visibility, particularly in the abs maybe, or the chest, striations, shoulders, whatever, back. That's obviously a great feeling because it's working. You know it's working then, and that gives you that push to dig a little bit deeper the next session, you know, and carry on. So yeah, I'm all about making more progress. So I haven't really stopped yet to see sort of where we're at, but feeling good. I can see the changes. So yeah, it's working and I'm feeling good. Question 9, what are the hardest things about your prep and how do you deal with them? Honestly, I don't even know how to answer. It's because everything is difficult with a hard bodybuilding prep, right? So the low calories, the low carbs, the high protein, the intense cardio, the supplements, training, life, all the things you still have to do. It's all the sacrifice. You know, prep is brutal. It is very, very difficult. So it's all hard. And how I deal with that is, like I was saying last time, really, I always just remind myself that this is my choice. I chose to do this. So yeah, I might have a moan. Everybody should have a moan, but you shouldn't be complaining like every day, every moment of every day. Something's wrong if that's happening. So yeah, I deal with it by just reminding myself that this was my choice. This is something I want to do. I also embrace the challenge. I think if you get yourself in a position where you dread the challenge, you're in for a real uphill battle. Whereas if you can tell yourself this is going to be hard, and you're prepared as much as you can be, that's going to help you get through it. So I just try and acknowledge everything about it. Question 10, how did you start to develop your mindset and build that willpower? Might have to do a separate video on this one, to be honest, depending on how much detail I go into with it. But starting this for me started when I was a child with some of the, with my upbringing, basically, and the things I had to get through and how I had to get through them. And I made a choice super early on that, like this pivotal moment, I could either just give up right now, or I can choose to never give up ever for the rest of my life. And so I chose the latter. And then some things just came naturally. Like, I just have this way where I just refuse to give up on things. And I just get stuck in to the work, whatever it is, cleaning the floors, doing cardio, whatever it is, work, you know, I'll just get stuck in. But then over time, especially these days, there are so much stuff. There are magazines, books, podcasts, YouTube videos, you know, there's everything. Like I said in the last video, you just got to find the thing that's right for you. Everybody's approach and mindset is different. It's a very difficult time right now. I mean, I saw some people sharing this post around earlier that was being busy is like a trauma response, and it's because you don't want to rest and think. I strongly disagree with that outlook on life. If you're busy in life, it's because you're trying to make a better life. You're trying to do things to improve and get in a better place. That's what got me to where I am and is going to get me to where I'm going. You should never look for excuses. You know, I don't want to be very sage on a stage or anything here, but yeah, choose to do things and then see them through. If you want a better car, you want a bigger house, you want more money, you want to be happier, you want to be healthier, you want to be fitter, none of those things really are going to come easy. So you're going to have to make choices and sacrifices, and you're going to have to dig in as deep as you can. You're going to have to commit, you're going to have to build some discipline, and you're going to have to get stuck into it. For me, everything comes down to a choice. I wanted to do this. I chose to do it. I'm choosing to still do it. That's how it works for me. Some great questions there. That's a wrap on the next prep video. If you want to get your questions in, you can submit them any way you want. You can submit them on YouTube, comment. You can Instagram inbox me. You can do the Q&As when I pop those up. You can do whatever you want. Just get the questions in. If you could also like and subscribe and share this video, that would be fantastic. I share it on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, but after the last one, like a week after, a few people were asking for if I had any prep updates to share. And I was like, I've got this video, check it out, watch it. So I'll share it maybe 2 or 3 times. Something I might increase, you know, I'm still learning this social media stuff, so I might share things a few more times. So yeah, get your questions in. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll do one of these prep updates every week because little things change every week and sometimes big things. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.